Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hello there. It has been a little while. I got this week. This is episode
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 2362. There we go. 2362. How about you? You okay? Did you have a good week? This should be Mike's Daily Podcast. It's turning into Mike's Weekly Podcast. But part of that was, hey, I did do a podcast on Monday, because I had the day off. And now it's
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Now it's the weekend. Now, here is what I learned this past week. That
Mike's
when you're starting a year,
Daily
it's a lot of work.
Podcast.
It's a lot of getting used to stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of... It's just tiring. So here we are in 2022. And I don't know where the time went. So there's this little pocket of time that I usually try to do the podcast, which is like right after work, and I make the commute home, and I get home. But every day this week, my lovely lady friend, she was free at that time, and we just enjoyed each other's company. So just think that I sacrificed Mike's Daily Podcast for something good. Company. It's good to have good company and to be with someone that you really enjoy. As I said from the very beginning, when I first met my lovely lady friend, that she was so positive, and we need more positive people on this planet. And so just being around her is very positive and a wonderful experience. So she's getting a little more busy. I may not see her in that pocket of time I usually have to do the podcast, so I'll do the podcast with you and bring you informative things. Boy, a whole week went by. Oh, this was that crazy week with the whole remembering January 6th. We won't go into that right now or ever.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Instead, we'll talk about what happened a year ago that was rather pleasant. And that was a wonderful trip that I took to the Stinson Beach Bolinas, the big, what is that dang peninsula? The Tamales Bay and all of that. Had a great time on that trip. The Point Reyes. There we go. I think that's it. So I got a picture from that trip. See it at MikesDailyPodcast.com. That was a year ago. I cannot believe it. And that was actually during my lovely lady friend's birthday, and her birthday's coming up soon. The wonderful late great Basil the Boxer, however, was not with us on that trip because he had died already. But he was there in spirit. He was there in spirit. We actually brought his ashes with us because we wanted to take him with us. That would have been a trip he would have enjoyed. When he was alive, we never made it to Stinson Beach. I don't know why, but that's the thing, is trying to think back as to why things didn't happen that you thought happened, that should have happened, but now they can't happen because they're gone. So make the most of every moment, I guess. Because that's what that teaches us. That feeling deep in our stomachs. Okay, maybe what you need to do is just think about, because of what you're eating, that's maybe what that feeling is in your stomach. What did I eat? What is that? What happened there? Was that a good idea? Unlike the packaged food and beverages on supermarket shelves, your favorite recipes may not come with nutrition facts. You might wonder if your favorite recipes are smart choices. How many calories, how much fat and sugar, and what other nutrients are in them? Becoming an informed home cook is all about knowing where to turn for nutritional facts, which is important for reducing health problems and increasing longevity. So, empowering yourself with nutrition know-how is easier when you have the facts in front of you. Before you start calculating, you should understand how to access and assess nutrition facts. I don't have a clue as to how to do any of this. So that's why I'm telling you, as I'm learning as well. But serving size is an ideal place to start. Keep in mind that suggested serving sizes can be smaller than you think. If 1 cup is a single serving, then the nutrition facts are based on a cup. If you eat 2 cups, you are getting double the calories, fat, carbs, and other nutrients. Calories are per serving is based on a single serving, not the whole recipe. And then the percent daily values, or the DV, reveal how a recipe affects your total daily diet based on 2,000 calories a day. You may need more or less than 2,000 calories a day. Focus on the percent DV, daily value of important nutrients such as fiber, potassium, vitamin D, calcium, and iron. If a recipe provides 5% DV or less of a nutrient, such as sodium, per serving, it's considered a low sodium recipe. If it contains 20% DV or more sodium per serving, it's considered high in sodium. I just assume everything is high in sodium, or, that you already got a bunch of sodium in your diet. I try to undersalt and under everything, because anything you open that's in a box probably has a lot of salt in it. Anything that comes out of a can probably has salt in it. That's been my experience. The good news is there are free online nutrition analysis tools for home cooks. You can use Recipe IQ, a free app that allows you to snap a picture of a printed recipe or paste a link of an online recipe and get the nutrition facts instantly. Recipe IQ. You can modify recipes to fit your dietary needs or taste preferences, and it will recalculate it for you. And if you didn't get the name of that website, I'll put it in the show notes. Right. Why don't you just hit rewind? This is a podcast, for crying out loud. Look, as we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Yes, we're in Podcastro Valley. Podcastro Valley. May I just say that we live in a world where podcasts are getting a lot of attention because apparently podcasts helped the big insurrection last year. Way to go, podcasts! That means people were listening to podcasts. That means people, maybe a lot of right-wing people were listening to podcasts. That means that traditionally conservative people who may not change with the times, who may still have that old AM radio in the garage that they're listening to while they're working on the car, as I've seen many a time in my travels. Maybe they are like, what the heck's a podcast? I don't know what a podcast is. Turn on the AM radio. Well, they know what a podcast is, so that's amazing. That's how far podcasts have come. I started podcasting in 2009. It's come a long way. I still have to explain. Anybody over 60, I pretty much have to sit them down and tell them, get a chalkboard and explain to them, write it all out, diagram it all out, explain it to them what is a podcast. But it's that says a lot to me. That study that was done. Who did that? I heard that in the news a couple places this week. That podcast had a big instrument in the whole January 6th. Okay. So, we do not do show notes on this show. We do have a website, though, MikesDailyPodcast.com, where you can see the podcast picture. And let's just say, if you listen to us on Spotify, there are a myriad of other places to listen to us. And did you know I have a YouTube channel? And did you know I do a very short video clip before every podcast? Well, all of that you can see at MikesDailyPodcast.com. There's also Very Well Fit. That's verywellfit.com, a website with a simple recipe analyzer, which pulls from U.S. Department of Agriculture data and another third-party database for nutrition information. Simply search Recipe Nutrition Analyzer, then paste recipe ingredients into the text box, and it will quickly calculate the nutrition facts for one serving. You get a printable and downloadable nutrition facts label for each recipe. And it is so important if you want to get in shape, if you want to get healthy. I mean, I'm not in shape. My shape it has a long way to go. But for the most part, I'm sticking to foods that, wait a minute. What did I eat yesterday that was not good? I had a fried chicken sandwich at the cannery in Podcaster Valley at the marketplace. And it was delicious. I gave them a plug. Now I'm going to give them a slug. It's probably not that healthy. Healthier than probably getting that from a fast food restaurant. Definitely more expensive than getting it from a fast food restaurant. But it was delicious, and I had to treat myself. And I was seeing a friend. It had been a while since he and I had talked. It was good to sit down, have some delicious sandwiches, and chat outside in the beautiful, somewhat misty, a little bit drizzly Podcaster Valley weather. Anyway, once in a while, moderation and moderation, right? Simply search for the nutrition ingredient, what the nutrition is and what you're eating, and that can help you a lot. There's also Whisk, a website and an app that lets you cut and paste recipes or insert a recipe URL and then provide the nutrition facts for one serving. Each recipe has a health score on a scale of 1 to 10, the higher and the healthier. The scale is based on nutrient density and U.S. Department of Agriculture recommendations. Also, nutritiondata.com. So that was whisk.com, verywellfit.com, recipeiq.com, and now nutritiondata.self.com is a website with a built-in recipe analyzer. Once you join the website community, you can create, analyze, and save your recipes. I used to be, what was the thing like Star Fit? Oh my gosh, I wonder if I still have an account with them. That was like 2009. That website existed, and you started an account. You could write blogs. It was kind of social media-ish, just as Facebook was taking off. And you would enter what you ate, and it would tell you what it was, what the nutritional value, and how many calories you were consuming. It was a calorie counter, basically. Spark People, something like that. Okay. And I really, really got into that for about a year until I realized I think I'm giving these guys way more information than I should be giving them. And yeah, it's free. Yeah, I'm getting something out of it, but I feel like I'm putting a little too much work into this. And then about that time, apps were getting popular, so you could get the same thing on an app. And about that time, too, in 2009, people at fast food restaurants were having to start showing the calorie count on food items. So you'd walk into Starbucks and look at that Frappuccino and see, oh my gosh, that's 1,000 calories, yikes. And you could back away from that slowly. So I stopped using my Spark People, whatever that was called, website. But these are similar to help you. And I wonder if maybe that website morphed into one of these. It also had this wheel every day. You could click on this wheel and it would spin and it would give you points. And the points didn't count for anything. My company uses Power of Vitality. So you link your whatever it is that your fitness app. If you have like a Apple Watch thing that counts how far you walk, or maybe you've got a Fitbit. I used to have my Fitbit connected to it, and then I had a whole completely crazy experience where my Fitbit wasn't working anymore, and it wasn't telling me that. And I had walked all this mileage, and I didn't get any points for it. That sucked. But actually, Power Vitality will give you some leeway. Like if you actually did walk 5 miles and your mileage counter thingy didn't work, you could tell it, hey, I did walk 5 miles, and they trust you. It's the honor system. But their points not only help you with your insurance policy with your work, to make it less expensive, it also gets you like Amazon cards and other types of stuff. I think with what's it called? Not Armor All, the armor people, the fitness, whatever that fitness fashion brand is. Something with that. Anywho, so you get the idea. It gives you all kinds of stuff that you can actually physically get to help you. The points turn into rewards, like a credit card with rewards. So MyFitnessPal is a website and app that allows you to track what you eat and drink daily, and they include a recipe analysis too. They have a basic membership that's free, and you can opt to pay for a premium membership. Healthy recipe descriptors. Look for these words to cue you into healthy recipe options. These are words that you want to see with your recipe because you know it's going to be healthy from the start. Words like baked, blanched, boiled, braised, broiled, boiled, grilled, poached, pressure cooked, sautéed, slow cooked, steamed, stir fried. And then of course fried is bad. So stir fried is sort of at the other end of the spectrum, but yeah. Depending on the type of oil you use. They say I had once seen that sunflower oil was probably the best for you in that it didn't clog up your arteries compared to the other oils. And then vegetable oil was in that same area. When you get down to coconut oil, that clogs up your arteries. So you got to be careful. But check that online about which oil is the best. Olive oil, a lot of people love to use olive oil. May not be the best to actually cook with, but because I think, if you heat it up too much, it starts to smoke. So, that all from the Costco Connection, their latest issue. I gave them a plug. Now I'll give them a slug. Get toilet paper, guys. We need more toilet paper. Well, last time I went was like 2 months ago, and they didn't have any. They said, get here earlier. I said, don't yell at me. We're outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. Finally bringing you another show. Outside here, look who's here. Hello, Michael Masters, Madame Rootabega, and yes, I love olive oil. Ooh. You love to use it in your salads? Yes. You love the character from Popeye? Yes. You love the... No. Okay. And look who else is here. Oh, dear Mike, this is Valentino, the parking attendant. And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Mike, we was hearing you talking about olive oil, D. Yeah, olive oil. Do you know that? So my lovely lady friend has recently rediscovered butter. That's not good. That's not good. But she's got this special kind of butter that she gets from the health food store. That's still not good. I'm just not... I mean, yes, it tastes delicious, but you can't use that much because it is so fattening. It's just really, it's got the... I'm afraid. I fear the butter, though butter makes it better. What a conundrum. There was an article that was sent to me from Dig, D-I-G-G. Have you heard of Dig? And the headline on the email that was sent to me was, "When Your Dad Stormed the Capitol." And it's actually an article from teenvogue.com called "What It's Like to Be a Child of a January 6th Insurrectionist." Young people whose parents participated say their family relationships may never be repaired. I guess that's an article from Teen Vogue. I have not checked it out yet, but I thought that was an interesting headline. And Amazon employee begs you not to buy its food in viral TikTok. What? a TikTok user is encouraging customers not to purchase their groceries from Amazon. And that is an article from mashed.com. Well, I must do another podcast because those are some interesting headlines that I just saw from that email. But next show, it'll be the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere, the engineer, chime in about anything we covered today. 336mm daily, 3 + 3 = 6mm, as in Mike Matthews daily, as in what this podcast has not been this week because I got behind and had to get caught up because of the new year. But hopefully we'll change that in the days forward and not get interrupted so much. Take us out, Ephraim.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!
Ooh, I forgot to mention that I'm going to be on the radio tomorrow, as I am every Sunday. And you can catch me from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Catch me if you can. I'm going to be on a radio station in the Bay Area. There's a link at my website, MikesDailyPodcast.com.